Welcome back to Collector's Thoughts. I'm your host, Respawn Granted. As always, my co-host, Real Batman. And today we are going to continue to the March of Halloween, which is right around the corner. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing good, doing good. So we recently did a video, and it was on the new Halloween trilogy with Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. So please do me a favor, go check out that video. That'd be greatly appreciated. And today we're gonna go back to the beginning. We're gonna talk about Halloween 1 and 2, which was the John Carpenter original two films.
Mm-hmm.
So this came out in what, 78 and 79, I believe, right?
78 and 81.
78 and 81. So there was a little bit of a gap between 1 and 2.
Yep.
So real quick, I mean, obviously everyone knows, but it's in case they don't, the first movie kind of briefly touches up on Michael Myers as a child, getting his first kill, which was his sister. And then we kind of jump forward to him escaping through a mental institution.
Yep.
And being out on the loose. Now, this movie, very low budget movie, but very well done.
Yeah.
So the thing is, now obviously I don't want to dive into every single aspect of the movie. We want to try to make this somewhat short. But do you have any special memories or anything from that first film, or first two films, I should say?
I love them both, man. For low budget films,
mm-hmm.
I just think they're both really good. First of all, I like both masks. I mean, obviously the 78, it's iconic, but the Dick Warlock mask, like from Halloween 2, also a good Myers mask. They're both good movies, but man, were they ahead of their time, right? Like 78 and the 81, they were ahead of their time. Like the acting, considering how low budget, like we've just said a couple of times, they're just both good movies. And the second one picks up where the first one leaves off.
Yeah.
Which after that, everybody who's a Myers fan or even a horror fan knows that after Halloween 1 and 2, it kind of goes everywhere. Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen 1, 2, and then just continue to pick up where the other one leaves off, and they just don't.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, the thing is, I know John Carpenter said originally when he was creating this, he titled it Halloween because he wanted to do a different like thing every time. That's why the third one was Seasons of the Witch and Myers wasn't even in it. He was planning on doing continuous Halloweens, but not with Michael Myers. But the problem is that when he did the movie, he did the first two with Myers, and he became such an iconic character. Now you can't escape it. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't the first movie kind of kick off the whole slasher like thing? I'm pretty sure Jason came after that.
He did.
Yeah. And all of them came after that first movie, if I'm not mistaken. So he really started this trend and this, beloved branch of horror for a lot of us. Like me personally, don't get me wrong, I don't think any of those movies are scary. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, they're not scary, but they're very entertaining to watch. Very cool, very they have pop outs and stuff like that, but nothing really too crazy, but just so much fun to just sit back and enjoy them, And personally, I'm going to go to the first movie. They did some things, like you were saying, ahead of their time. Like one scene that sticks out to me in particular is that scene when Michael Myers is in the back in the dark, and then you see the blue light coming on, like it's almost like your eyes adjusting behind Laurie. Dude, how awesome was that with a low budget to come up with something so small but so brilliant? And I feel like that first movie, even though there wasn't many kills, I think it was only like a handful of them.
Yeah, he didn't kill a lot of people in that first movie. Like everybody, like you said, I think what does he have, like 2 or 3 kills in that first one?
Yeah, it wasn't much. Yeah, I can't remember. He killed his sister in the beginning, the sister, and then I think he was like a couple people throughout the movie, but it wasn't much. It was mostly like them trying to catch him.
It was a few people.
Yeah. So, but it was just that tense, like he could be behind any corner. Like it was kind of cool. And he's not fully there. they do a good job explaining his character a little bit of the background, and you get to learn about Laurie and about Loomis, the psychiatrist that's trying to get him, trying really hard to fix Michael and all that. And he's I think deep down he knows he can't. The one thing I did like a lot about this movie though is that they like I said, low budget, they kind of relied more on just that tense moments, like he's like, he's building up like the blue light scene where he's coming up behind her, stuff like that, like stuff where he's trying to just kind of creep you out. And I like at the end, spoiler alert for a movie from 1978, but if you haven't seen
no spoilers here anymore.
Yeah, Loomis shoots him and he falls off the balcony. Now a normal person, that ends you right there. You fell off a balcony, you were shot, I think it was 6 rounds, I believe it was a revolver.
Yeah,
so you're done. But what do they do? And something so little, but Loomis comes over the edge, looks, Myers is gone, and he gives you that look like he had a feeling all along. And they just did it so well, like nothing too flashy, nothing crazy, just enough tense buildup. And then at the very end, it's like, wait a minute, he's not just human. There's something different about this guy. So to me, that first movie holds a special place. I love that first movie, man. It's such a good movie. Anything you'd like to add to that about the first one?
That pretty much sums it all up, dude. He that's why he's my favorite. John Carpenter and Michael Myers opened the door for Jason and Freddy and others to come along. So
absolutely.
And dude, like it's Batman and then it's Myers and then everything else. Then TMNT and all that stuff I love as well. But I like a little bit of everything, okay?
Right.
But Batman and Myers, dude. The only reason why I don't have more Myers stuff is because up until recently, it was hard to get.
Yeah.
And even now, like the Rob Zombie stuff, nobody can make his figures because they just they can't get the rights to them. So, but these newer movies, this trilogy opened the door to start getting more stuff. So, and now I think Mezco is making the Halloween 2, Dick Warlock, Michael Myers, which cool. I'm eyeing that. Even though I've been cutting back, I'm not going to cut back on that one. I'm getting that. I want to get that. I love Michael Myers, but I think it's like think about this, 1978.
Yeah.
The movie still holds today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Enough said. That's all you need to say. And then when you move on to the second one.
Well, hold on. Before you get to the second one, the other thing too about the first one I got to say, in my opinion, that's got to be the most iconic theme song. The Myers theme has got to be the most iconic horror, not just horror, just character theme song in general, period. So,
agreed.
So for that time frame, a low budget movie still holds to this day. Granted, there's some corniness with how the teenagers act. I'll admit it. Some of the teenagers acting.
It was 1978. It was a different world.
Right. So I'll give it that. But if you can sit down and watch that movie today and it still holds up, and you still kind of get that like rush, like, oh, he's behind you. It's a good movie, dude. It's a good movie. So now please continue what you were saying. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say that theme, dude.
Listen, I agreed. And I think they did a great job in the second one, picking up where the first one leaves off. Okay. So, and equally good scenes where he's in the hospital, the eyes thing with the blood coming down, another iconic scene, like just great. Another one that like every time those two movies are on, I don't give a flip what's going on. I'm sitting down, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mean, with certain things.
But the house is burning down. I'm watching Myers.
I can tell you right now, man. I can tell you right now, mother flipper. If I'm watching football and I see Halloween or Halloween 2 is on, I'm shutting football off, dude. I'm going on to the Halloween stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But now I know you just recently rewatched it, and you're more of a Freddy guy. Okay. What are your thoughts on Halloween 2?
Dude, I love it too. Halloween 1 and 2. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This might not be the most popular opinion, but I think I might actually like 2 more. And here's why. In Halloween 2, they you could tell they got a little bit more money. There was more effects and stuff like that. There was more kills, which I do tend to favor when the movie has more of that kind of stuff.
Because you're a
And
psychopath.
right. You're not wrong. No, but I like how they already in that second movie was already starting to embrace that he's not just a man.
Right.
They you know, he's being wounded, but just walking it off. Like you see him walk away. Like you said, they pick up right from the end of the first one, which was brilliant, by the way. They
Yep.
literally end it with him walking away. This dude just got shot 6 times, fell off a balcony. He's just walking down the street. So I loved that. They're already showing that there's more kills, a little more money, and he's already being embraced as not just a person. So that's why the second one kind of starts to inch a little bit for me.
I'm not gonna disagree with you on one of the things you just said there on that take right there.
Okay.
I don't know which one I like better. And
It's tough,
everybody says it's 78, but I recently, not as recent as you have, but and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch it because with Halloween coming,
Absolutely,
days
dude.
away.
Yep.
They're gonna be doing a marathon on this shit. And I can tell you, I love them both, man.
Yeah.
I can't pick one. Like there's things about 78 I like because for its time, but there's things about Halloween too, Dick Warlock, that I actually like better than 78.
Right.
The more kills, because I'm a psychopath myself.
Right.
More kills. And you're right. You could tell there was more budget.
Yeah.
It was just a better movie because of that.
Yeah.
Because obviously budget, you could do more things.
Right.
But look, John Carpenter, man, for his time, for these two movies, holy crap. Holy crap.
And the thing is too, like one scene that stands out to me is, do you remember the scene where Myers is in the hospital, or most of it's in the hospital, but he ends up putting the nurse's head in that boiling water, that spa thing. Dude, how messed up is that? I watched this movie a few days ago and I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt, man. She's just dipping her face in that water like that. And that's another thing too. Yes, her face is melting. And that's another thing too. This dude, if you watch, his hand's in that water.
Yes.
So that's why
not a lot of people catch that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, this guy is not a human, because how is it scorching her face and melting the flesh off her face, but his hand's fine, even though his hand was in that same water.
Right.
You know? So like little things like that. And even when he stabs the nurse in the hallway and lifts her up, dude, he has his arm fully extended. And he's lifting her up with a little what are the little scraper blades, whatever they're called. Like, dude, I remember me and my wife were watching that movie. My wife, I'm sitting there, I'm like, no one can do that. She's like, oh, you don't think like The Rock can do that? I'm like, no, not full one arm extended, a full person's body weight. No way in hell. The Rock's strong, but even he would have to have a little bend to lift. So,
or the person would have to help.
Right. This dude, they were already establishing he is not human. And then to the point where you said at the end, he gets shot in both eyes. He's bleeding out of both eyes, and he's still swinging, trying to get her. He's not like, you know, you get shot in the eyes, dude, you're pretty much done. But not this guy. He's like, I'm going to keep swinging. I need to. And then when the thing blows up, when the room blows up, he still walks out before collapsing. It's like, dude, he's not a human.
No, and that's one of the things I've been arguing with a lot of Jason fans, where they're like, all day he wins over Myers, and maybe so, because Jason's like a different type creature. He's bigger, he towers over him.
He's like a demon, isn't he, or something?
Yeah, so
something,
like a zombie or whatever. So I'm not gonna say who wins. I'm not gonna get into that. I can tell you who I'd like to see win, Myers. Right. But here's the thing: a lot of people that have. Jason's my second favorite horror character after Myers. So it's really, you know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal, but I would prefer Myers to kick his ass. But but I will say this: I've over the years, I'm like, did you really watch the first two? He's human. Did you really watch the first two? Did you watch the second one where his hand is in that boiling water, where her face is melting and nothing's happening to him? He's not human. And people argue with me. I'm like, dude, if that was Jason, you're like, see the hand. It does not. Same thing with Myers. Yeah. You guys are just blinded by the fact that you just look. At the end of the day, Jason would probably win, because I don't think anybody would win, because if they're not human, you can't kill them.
Right.
Just the only difference is Jason he's just more powerful. He's bigger. He's got more strength than Myers. But dude, can you imagine a movie where Freddy, versus Jason versus Myers. You want to
That'd be
talk
awesome. That'd be awesome.
about, like, can you imagine that shit? Like, come on, man. Come
Dude,
on.
well, you know what would probably happen is Freddie being the way he is, he would probably try to pin those two against each other. And then at some point they would realize what's going on and they turn on him. I could see that, dude. That'd be an awesome movie. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The problem is with Hollywood, they can't make up their mind whether he's human or not. And that's why a lot of the people that watch horror movies, like these arguments that you have, that's why they're not wrong either. And neither are you. Because Hollywood keeps tiptoeing between he's human, he's not. He's human. Dude, it's enough. Like if they were to pick a lane, it'd be easier for them to
pick a path.
Yeah. I mean, the
pick
thing
a path. And I think they and Kills, which we touched on the last video,
yeah,
it looked like they had picked that path.
Yeah. It looked like they finally did it.
Which we saw hints of it in 78 and 81.
Yep.
And then they really went down in Kills, and the more he kills, the more he transcends. And I'm like, finally, we're getting a clear direction here. And then we all know what the debacle was with the movie that followed Kills. So, but to me, I love the latest trilogy, especially the first one, 2018. And I loved Kills, especially the Meyer scenes. But these two right here are my favorites. Yeah. Along with 2018. And then Kills had the best Meyer scenes. So I would put these two, 2018 and the first Rob Zombie, all in that top tier, and then everything else after.
See, here's the thing for me. One of the other reasons I really like the second movie, besides them finally seeming like they pick that they want him to be a little more than just human, is that in that movie they actually say that Laurie is an adopted sister. She was one of his sisters, and she got adopted by the Strodes. So they establish why Michael is so upset. In my opinion, these two movies were the most complete out of all of them. This one tells you a good story. It tells you why he's obsessed with her. It tells you what's going on for most of it. And then it has an ending. He dies in that explosion along with Loomis. There is an actual beginning, a middle, and an end. I feel like if you watch both movies together, you get the full Myers experience and you get what Carpenter was trying to do. This guy was, yes, he was human, but there was something more. And he's attacking her because that's his sister that got away. And he really wanted to get the one that got away. Then when you start jumping into everything else, that's when they started trying to erase parts and they tried to pretend certain things didn't happen. And that's when all this confusion happened. So to me, as far as a complete set, you cannot go wrong with these first two movies. Great Halloween movies. And to me, dude, these two movies will be watched year and year again when it's around this time of the year. Going towards Halloween, I don't think you can really go wrong watching these two movies as a Halloween tradition.
Nope.
So me personally, love them. Think they're awesome. I give them 200 thumbs ups, dude. I love these. So
for their time,
good.
Way ahead of their time. Absolutely. Way the freak ahead of their time. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the reboot here in 2018, which was 40 years after, which is supposed to pick up where these kind of leave off. Mm-hmm. They kind of had it with that first one, and then they kind of had it in Kills with the cheesy parts outside of the Myers scenes. Yeah. But they had something going, and then they just blew it at the end there with that last movie. Because I think that the 2018 one was there, man. It was there. Absolutely. It was there. He escapes. He's still coming after Laurie. He wants to finish what he tried doing before. And then they just kind of I don't know, but I think these two movies were way ahead of their times. And then, of course, after those, you get, which we'll cover in another video, you have Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, which we'll talk about in a future video. Absolutely. 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. We've already touched on the last video how we feel about these masks. Yeah. My wife thinks that he looks Chinese in Halloween 4. So
I think he looks like Matthew Broderick.
So, and then of course there's Curse of Michael Myers, and then this H2O. Yeah. And then you got Resurrection with Busta Rhymes in it, which the Kung Fu shit didn't work for me. Yeah. No, that and Tara Banks just ruined it for me. But
Dude, honestly,
The
real
mask
quick,
wasn't bad in that movie though, but
you know what I was just thinking? If you take the 2018 movie and put it right in between the 78 movie and the Halloween 2, that would actually be that a pretty solid trilogy right there.
yeah.
If you think about it, because you got the 78 one that introduces them, then you get the 2018 one, which would continued 40 years later, and then you have Halloween 2 where he goes into the hospital to finally end her off, and he ends up blowing up in that explosion with Loomis. There
That's
you
a
go.
better end. That's a better end than what we
I
just
know.
got.
And I just pulled that out of my hat, dude.
There you
So,
go.
but that's it for me, dude. As far as talking about Halloween 1 and 2, love them, can't go wrong with them. Anything you'd like to add to the 1 and 2?
No, I just we want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Do you guys think that these movies still hold up well today? And which one of these do you prefer, or is it a tie for? I mean, they're pretty much a tie for me, man. I love them both. There's things about the second one that I actually like better, but we want to hear from you guys. Like that's why we do these.
Absolutely.
We want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about these movies? Do you still think they hold up today? Do you prefer 2 over 78, which a lot of people are afraid to say it because God forbid if you say that 2 is better than 78, which I don't think it's better. I think they're like right there.
Yeah.
There's things about Halloween 2 that I like better than 78, but we want to hear from you guys. That's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely. He said it perfectly, guys. So thank you guys very much. We'll catch you on the next one, and keep an eye open for the videos. We're gonna continue going with the Halloween up until Halloween. So keep your eyes open, guys. All right. Take care. Later.
Peace.